month where I just recap how I used my planner the previous month, setting it up for the current month, things like that. Life is really busy right now with my job, the print shop, the farm, all that kind of stuff. So it's been just hard to squeeze in time to set up all the lights and sit down and film a video. So we'll just do my regular Jess rambles as I go through this. So based on the last video, I was at the very end of my Makselife Daily Quarterly planner. So I had to decide what I was going to do next. Thought about buying a planner, thought about using daily notepad, thought about a bunch of things, and I was like, you know what? I have so many planners. I have the Moxie planners for 2020. I have the Inkwell Press planners for 2022. I just need to use what I have and not buy anything and be sensible. So I decided to go into the Inkwell Press Classic. And luckily, April was a color scheme I liked. This is the spruce color scheme. So I was kind of excited to use this because I love teals, greens, and blues. So I thought, well, if I'm going to start back with Inkwell Press, I might as well start on a good month's color. So this is April, so I kind of loosely used, sorry, there's a plane going overhead and I have the window open. We will pause as this thing goes overhead. Okay, so I loosely used the mission board just to kind of stay on top of doing a little bit of like goal setting, and more this was kind of just a dashboard of things in each of these areas that needed to get done. So I am going to show you over here in my Makselife vertical. I'm still trying to use this as my kind of like hub for the year, at least the monthly views of each one of this one, so that I can go back and have everything in one book. Anyways, okay, so I kind of did this, putting 1 to 2 things in each category. No stickers, just wrote things down that I needed to remember to get done that were, so flip back and forth, were based on annual goals. Make sure I thought I had the bookmark in here. Yeah, the annual goals in these categories. So I still wanted to keep focus on, getting this stuff done. So actually actively while I do this, I'll mark some things off. So, okay, here was what that looked like. Then in the month view, so basically use the month view, as you know, to put in, if you've watched my videos, I should say, as you know, as if you're like in my brain, to put in things that are like events, one-offs, not regularly occurring meetings, but just once a month type of things. So these are different workshops and things that we host where I work. So I got those things in. My coaching clients, I got that stuff in. Put down a holiday sticker for Easter. The 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, this is when our little meat chickens turned 1 week. And this was just going to keep track of how old they were. I don't think I repeat that in May. I don't like how that looks so much, and just put a dot with a mild liner highlighter on there. Did use our checkbox dots to just note certain things that were significant, that if I was flipping through, I wouldn't have to want to flip through weeklies to see. So when we moved our meat birds outside, when we put the sheep back on our land, the sheep were over at our neighbor's pastures. We picked up our new dog. We have a new dog. When I gave him his heartworm pill, vet appointment. So you can see that's basically how I use the monthly. Now, let's see if I think I sat down and updated this to reflect that. So I did. So I have the vet, picked up Remy, sheep return. There's a few things, obviously, I still need to go back and do, like I don't have when we moved the meat birds outside. So there's still a few things in April in the Makselife that I need to update. You can see all my little doodads here. These are when we moved the animals. This is just my little key here. I don't know, at least I haven't yet in my Inkwell that I'm actively using. I haven't been noting that in here. I've just been going through in the weeklies and then transferring it here to the month. So this actually does need to be updated a little bit to reflect everything that is in here. The other thing I do in the Makselife is note with the contact icon when I change my contacts. So again, looks like a few things need to be updated, but for the most part, I kept that fairly up to date. I try to go in there and update it once a week, but sometimes I don't. Planning is still, I don't know. I'm in a weird space, friends. Okay, so here's what I did in my Inkwell. You can see this is like minimalist when it comes to stickers. I literally have used, at least when it started off getting back into this, 2 different stickers. I covered up the words, which are only on these 2 lines, with our custom strip here that has today, work, and home. So when I was using the Makselife Daily, I was enjoying that it had the schedule in it, so I could write down appointments and this big long to-do list. And I was like, at the end of the day, really, you can see here, I have maybe at most 3 meetings in one day. So I don't know that I need this full on, 8 or 12 hour, whatever it is, schedule. So I thought, well, I'm going to use the top part to just note some meetings. The work, my job, is the most significant thing that takes up my time. It's going to need the longest to-do list, so I use that. And then home, it's pretty self-explanatory, home-based thing. And then down here in the daily boxes, which honestly, oddly, I've said this before, I went a while as an Inkwell Press lover hating the daily boxes, but in the past couple of years, I've just really enjoyed these. I don't know. I like that it's a big space to write. I can either cram a bunch of stuff in a little spot or just kind of put a big thing. And even though some of these things you'll see are not much different than home, it allows me to keep things that need attention that maybe aren't in just like they're not laundry. So basically what I did is use the bottom one for weather. I do like that because it helps us plan with animal moves and getting things set up if it rains for the, different stuff like that. So that's what that is. And then some of this is going to be print shop stuff. I don't actually right now do a lot for the print shop. Matt kind of runs 99% of it. My job is to put out the weekly email and do any content like I'm doing now. So that's what goes down here. Anything that's personal or print shop or stuff like that. So basically you can see that's the only stickers I use. What I did do then was in the meeting section, which is my today section, I also put down strips on the days that did not have the words. I just like how that looks. It's not necessary, but I liked it. So I highlighted those with a coordinating color here to the month. Up here on the top, I put the days, like what we did from an activity standpoint. This day we stretched, we walked the farm, stretched, walked the farm. So you'll see that consistently done week over week on the planner. I did use my little stencil. At first, you'll see the first few weeks, all I did was stencil these check boxes in. I didn't use a sticker to do that. Wrote down my to-do list. If anything moved over, I put an arrow. And these are all work-related tasks. In here in home, it's everything from like moving the animals to doing laundry, and anytime it had to do with an animal move, I also underlined it with a mild liner. That way when I was transferring it into the month view, it was very easy to flip through each week and go, okay, goats, sheep, goats, things like that. So it just caught my eye and that helped. We do have sheep and goat and animal icons. I probably could use those and that might help, or even use it in the monthly. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Down here, some of the things you can see that I put, sending out an email. This is my personal stuff, my personal blog, work on my personal website, girls night out, launch my new website, things like that. So this was kind of like personal stuff. I did use this sidebar on this particular week, the first week of April, to write a next week list. There were things that were coming around on Friday at work that I'm like, I need to remember to do all these things the next week for work. And this was, that actually never ended up happening that day. But this was kind of my weekly focus. I don't like this section, but if there's something that needs to get done that week and it doesn't need to live on a particular day, I put it over there. So I think that might be the only time I use that section. It was. Okay, so that was week 1, and you're gonna see this is basically the repeat for each week in April. Here's when I did our strength workouts, we did our walks, appointments. If an appointment didn't happen, I just put a line through it. Same system here. Things that were down here like paydays, pay taxes, things that needed to make sure that stood out a little bit went down here in the daily boxes. That's it. And then I did use the weekly action steps sidebar here. So this is the weekly breakdown of the monthly goals. I used that a little bit because I knew there were some things related to these monthly goals that I needed to remember to get done. So I did use that on this particular week. Same thing with the cover strips. 3rd week of April, same exact thing. But the only thing that I changed was I went to using our little check boxes. Actually kind of like how that looks a little better. I did like this. It's clean, but it was nice and convenient, especially if I was at work, just to bring a sheet of those and just put this down. And then, yeah, weather. Did my weekly action step here. Yeah, you can see film video kept getting bumped. You'll see this keeps getting bumped until this particular week. No other stickers that I used that week. This is the 4th week of April. Same situation. Did use little hearts for we gave our new dog heartworm pill, when our lambs, or our sheep had their lambs. But yeah, you can see, essentially this is my system. That's how it went. And then at the end of the month, I just went in and looked and made sure I got all of these goals done. And then what we should be doing is transferring that into goals. So we had our first lambing, had our lambs. What else? Anything else on here that we did? No. Home has a lot of stuff in it. I know we did stuff. Oh, we got screen door. We did do that. So some things are happening. This is going to happen this month, so we'll mark that off. But essentially these are my master goal list. I think kind of as we're, almost 5 months into this year, I think next year I do like this system. I'm either going to stick with Inkwell, or if I do the Moxie system, I'm going to buy the companion notebooks. And that could be my like hub versus this big, bulky, massive Moxie planner. Okay, so kind of wrap things up. We're in May now, and here's what I did for May. So transferred some things onto here that were related to my goals onto the mission board. And yeah, nothing else to say about that. Then we have May, which is, oh my God, I got my brain. You know why I'm just brain farted? I'm looking at this. I put this down. I'm like, did I even give her heartworm pill? So I need to check that after I get off of this video. So I have my holidays down, have my few time-sensitive things that are on here, and that's really it. I do need to add my mom's birthday on here. I don't have a lot of Inkwell Press stickers printed in my stash, so I haven't been using a lot because I was like, do I want Matt to print these for me? Am I going to keep using this? So I do need to have a few things printed, like my birthday labels and a few other things that I think I need to add to the mix. All right, so here we go. Week 1 of May, same exact thing, except for I haven't put my cover strips down. But you can see the system is exactly the same. I didn't use the sidebar. I have my weather down. Oh, look, we're filming the video. Check that off. Today is Thursday. All right, so that's basically how I've been using my planner. It has been incredibly, I would say, helpful. It's very, very simple. But I'm trying to get in a habit. Like when I'm at the office, I have a tendency to not pull this out and look at it because I'm in meetings and I'm talking with my coworkers and I'm just doing stuff. So what I've been trying to do is when I get home, at least like emptying out my bag and opening this and making sure that I update it, because I hate like not knowing. I don't know. I just don't like having it not be. I like to check things off at the end of the day and make sure I got things done. My brain is not working right now. Oh, we had a chicken die, so that's why this says Twyla died. Sometimes chickens just randomly die, and it drives me nuts. This was my favorite chicken. It was very sad. But if you're watching this and you can read my writing and you see that and you're like, what the heck is that? That's what that is. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's working for me, this format. I don't love this month's color, but the functionality of the layout of the Inkwell Press vertical does work for me right now. Meetings have gotten a lot lighter. Most of my time is taken up with work tasks. And yeah, it seems to be working. The goal thing, we're still getting a lot of goals done. And even as the year goes on, we're adding new tasks to the homestead. So things that aren't even on the master annual goals pages are happening. I just feel very not overwhelmed. I was just talking to one of my coaching clients, Christina, who's also a customer and friend, and just telling her how I'm in this space. This happens probably every year, maybe every other year, where things start to accumulate into my life that are good. So, we have the print shop. Now I have a job that takes up most of my work day time. We have the farm with all of our animals. We have improvements we're making to our home, improvements we're making to the land. I also, when I went off social media, I decided I was going to have a blog to talk about life and life updates and my experience being off social media. And originally the first month that I was off, I did weekly blogs, and I'm like, feels like just another thing to do. I'm not enjoying it now. So I was like, I'll do monthly. Well, now we're at the beginning of May, and I have drafted a blog but haven't sent it. So I just feel like there's a lot of things. And this happened to me a couple of years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, when I was working remotely for a marketing company. Plus I was doing a podcast, plus I was doing YouTube for our farm because we just started our farm, and then the print shop, and then the animals, and then the work on the land. And I'm like, this is, at some point, your brain, in my opinion, can only focus on so many things. And at some point, something has to give. And so what was happening, even with the print shop, is, like I said, Matt does all the day-to-day stuff. I'm in charge of getting out the weekly email and whatever content. And it's even been difficult for me to get to sit down, like I was saying, set up these lights, do all this. And I'm like, you know what, maybe it's something where I need to be like, who cares how fancy, if the lighting is perfect, if my thumbnail picture looks nice, that I just need to do it. So there's that. I think I may need to, in order to stay up with giving you guys content, rethink how I do things. I don't know if once a month videos feels informative, helpful, valuable to you guys, especially now with my planning style being so simple. I don't know that I'm providing much inspiration for you. My planning style has always been simple, but I feel like just as life has changed, it's got even simpler. So I don't know if monthly videos feel useful. You can let me know on that. I don't know that at this point I have the capacity to do much more than that. And I don't know that you'd want to see me just talk about this week I did the same thing again. So I thought monthly, at least, if there's something that changes over the month of how I do things, I can reflect back on that and share that with you. When I got off the phone with Christina, or before we got off, we were talking about it. She's like, well, maybe you can just post pictures or share different ways to use different stickers. So that was a cool idea too. Maybe I can just share a sticker that we have and come up with ways for you guys to use it. Or if you share ways like, hey, I use this sticker like this and I've never seen somebody do it. And that way, maybe you guys have ideas on how I can provide inspiration and information to you guys. Because as you can see, and I always say, my planning style is fairly boring. So I would love if you have want to share your planner with me. Send me an email, hello@knockoutprintshop.com. Snap a picture with your phone, blur out anything you don't want me to see. And then maybe I can use that as inspiration to share in our email content. Maybe I can somehow find a way to do that. I know I talked about doing like mock-up spreads, like galleries. We've been so busy, I haven't even been able to do that. Matt's just barely been getting through doing orders and once in a while creating a new listing. Life has just been like, holy moly, lots going on. Because also for Matt, you guys are just getting a random life update. This has actually at this point has zero to do with planners. But he also does he's doing all the farming stuff, constantly building and working on stuff and bush hogging and doing all that. Plus he does some handyman work. And moral of the story, there's a lot of stuff going on. So there's things we've wanted to do, like doing a little gallery of mock-up spreads, but we just, with all the stuff going on, haven't had the time. So maybe the easiest thing to do would be if you guys have ideas or just want to share because you like sharing, send me a picture of your planner. And again, blur out stuff that you don't want seen, that's personal, private. And if you want to give me permission to share the photo, maybe I just share that photo in a newsletter. And that could be awesome inspiration for each other. Those of us that are, using Knockout Print Shop stickers, and mainly maybe the Makselife, the Inkwell Press, or the Hobonichi planner. It's a different way to share inspiration than being on social media, because clearly I'm not anymore. And again, like I've said, 4 years. You guys might be sick of seeing my boring ass planner. All right, so I think I'm done rambling about my life. And I hope maybe some of this was helpful. Maybe you can relate to feeling like you have a million things on your plate too, and just figuring out what to shift. Like I said, for me, I'm going to stick with one video a month, at least for the rest of this quarter. So let's see, that would be, so one more in June. I'm going to reassess after June when I do a June one. Well, what I'll probably do is June to reflect on May, and then I'll do one the end of June or July, the beginning of July to reflect on June. So I think I'm going to do 2 more videos to get us through halfway through the year, kind of reflect on that and see if this has been something I should continue doing because you guys are finding value in it, or you simply just like to hear a check-in once in a while. As usual, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on that. So that's what I think I'll do there. And then in the interim, continue to send out weekly emails if we have a sale, when we release a new product, which I know is not as frequently this time of year, or if you guys want to send in some planner inspiration for us to share with our planner community, that would be fantastic, because it just gives a different perspective on people with different lifestyles, different family situations, work-life situations that I can share with our community. So that's what I'm thinking. That maybe relieves some of the stress of me. I feel like I hate that I'm not sharing with you guys more, especially because now we don't have social media. So I don't know. I have very high expectations of myself, and when I say I'm going to do something or I feel committed to a group, I don't like when I don't feel like I'm doing what I need to do. But I think I've been clear, honest, transparent, that one video a month, one email a week, and kind of trying to figure out a way to reinvent how to provide more value to you guys. That's probably something that I need to work on. And then the other thing would be figuring out with my personal blog what I want to do with that. So it's interesting. Now, okay, we're not getting off yet. It's interesting. I got off social media March 1st. I've been off social media for 2 months now. Do not miss it at all. Don't want to go back on it. It's amazing I ever had time to be on social media. I feel like, when did I ever have time for social media? I feel like I have so many things that I'm focused on right now. So that's an interesting realization. But with the personal blog and wanting to share my experience of being off social media and my experience of, building our little farm here and how I've lost the desire to do that, I need to figure out if that's something I want to continue. I got all excited and I reinvigorated my email list and said, hey guys, I'm back and I'm going to share. And now I'm like, I can't do every week. It's just getting to be too much. So I need to figure out what that's going to look like. Because I hate the fact that I was like all pumped about it. And now I'm like, I even revamped my website. And now I'm like, I don't have the mental space for that. So I need to reinvent. Does anybody, if you are a blogger and you do like a personal blog or just kind of blog about your life, do you do it weekly? Do you do it monthly? Does it ever feel like a chore even though you want to share with people? Some people are like, oh, do a video so we can see the farm, because I love sharing the farm stuff. But then it's like, right now I'm in my life in the present moment doing the things, and I don't think, hold on, let me videotape that. So any insight, any thoughts? Share your experience. Have you been in, can you relate in your own way to my not very stressful but random feelings of overwhelm? Anyways, I need to stop talking because this has clearly just become a ramble, not even necessarily a planner update, more like a life update. So if you have stayed for this whole almost 25 minutes, I appreciate your time. And at least hopefully my ramble was entertaining. All right, guys, I hope you guys are really doing well and you had a good April, and you're going to hope you have a wonderful May, a happy Mother's Day and Memorial Day and all of those things. If you have feedback, thoughts, want to share content, comment below. Email me at hello@knockoutprintshop. And that is all. I'm going to stop talking, or this is never going to end, and you're just going to hear this free association from me. All right, guys, have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.